I'm Mike Smart, 2008 Minnesota Teacher of the Year. With me is Minnesota State Representative Mike Freiberg from District 45B. Here's his top 3 tips on how educators can connect effectively with legislators.
Sure, thanks Mike. The first thing I suggest is using a personal story whenever you can rather than statistics, for example. Most legislators aren't social scientists, so obviously it would be better that every sort of policy is based soundly in science, but legislators work with people all the time, so they want to hear stories about how the policy you're talking about affects people. If you can tie it to people in their district, that's even better, because those are the people who can vote for them, and legislators think about that. The second thing I'd suggest is not using jargon whenever you can, because when you work closely in an area such as education, there's a lot of terms and acronyms, for example, that you might use when you're working with your coworkers, but legislators have to know about everything, whether you're talking about agriculture, or healthcare policy, or education. So if you're talking about ALC funding or something, for example, they might not know what that means. So whenever you can, try to spell things out and use pretty basic language. Don't assume that they know something that you might know. The third thing I'd suggest is to ask for something specific. So if you're really general, if you just say something like, "When you promise to me that you'll support our schools," that in a sense gives them an easy out. Of course they'll say yes to something like that. But if you say, "Will you promise to me that you will sign on to House File 2697 as a co-author?" Or "Will you promise that you'll ask the Education Finance Chair to give House File 1363 a hearing?" Something like that, and then they'll probably want to say yes to you, and then you have them on record as doing that. So, too often people are too vague about what they're asking, so the more specific you can be, I think the better of a result you'll get from the meeting. Those are sort of the 3 things I'd suggest.
Thank you, Representative Freiberg. There you have it. 3 great tips for working with legislators.